All right, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We are live. We're live on the Stereo app, and we are live on Facebook on my Facebook page, Angelina um, Clearest Conscious Lifestyle Coach, and my Clearest Conscience Facebook page, as well as my Clearest Conscious podcast page on YouTube. So, y'all, please go over there and check that out. I am listening to I'm on YouTube listening to in the background. It is neo soul, lofty instrumental music to vibe and work to. So, of course, I do not own the royalties to that. So, it's not my stuff, as I'm sure you all know. So, we're going to have a discussion today really quickly. It's a little late. I was going to do this earlier, but I had some things to do. And my king will be home shortly from work. I have to get to cooking. Okay. So, really quickly, we're going to have this discussion, hopefully in less than an hour. So, you all grab a pen and paper and make some notes and just jot down some things. I am your holistic lifestyle coach and host, Angelina, with Clearest Conscious Holistic Lifestyle Coaching. So, this conversation today, if you're on stereo, please feel free to jump in and share your comments. And we're going to talk about this. So the topic of conversation is the status of poverty versus wealth a choice in mindset? Okay. And this conversation is important. A lot of people will have differences of opinions on different levels to different degrees, right? And so we want to talk about this today. So make sure you all go over to my Facebook page and subscribe to my Clearest Conscience Facebook page. Give me just a second. And I want you all to jot down, I want you all to grab a pen and paper so that you can jot down my contact information and get a hold of me whenever it suits you, if it does, right? So really quickly, we're having this conversation because I love to help people grow their wealth and not just financially, right? So with my Clearest Conscience coaching business, right, it's holistic lifestyle coaching because I touch on everything, mind, body, spirit, and wealth, and not just finances, right? So we'll have this conversation really quickly, and hopefully it'll help some people. So yeah, let's jump into it. So the question again is the status of poverty versus wealth a choice in mindset? What do you all think? What do you all think? Do you think it's a choice? Do you think it is there is no choice in it, whether you're impoverished or you're wealthy, right? What do you all think? I'm gonna give a couple of definitions really quickly to help you kind of think about that question and maybe even refocus the way you think. Okay. So the definition of poverty, the first one, is the state or condition where people and or communities cannot meet a minimum standard of living because they lack proper resources. These resources include, but are not limited to, financial resources, resources to proper health care, adequate education, clean water, housing, access to healthy grocery stores, the basic necessities. Can you provide a roof over your head and shelter and food and water? If you can't then you may be in a poverty level, right? And being broke or poor is not the same as being impoverished, right? The definition of wealth, okay? Wealth measures the value of all the assets of worth owned by a person, community, company, or country. Wealth is determined by taking the total market value of all physical and intangible assets owned, then subtracting all debt. So what that means is that if you have a house, a whole lot of cars, nice jewelry, whatever, what is your debt ratio? If the bill collectors came, would you have to sell off those assets to survive? Or do you have enough assets where if something happened to you, your children and your children's children would be okay financially, right? Without debt, So those are those definitions for poverty and wealth. So if you look at, so again, the question is the status of poverty or versus wealth a choice or mindset? So the word choice means an act or opportunity of choosing, an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities. And I don't want to get political or religious or anything like that, but we're going to, I want to resonate where I can, right? And be relatable, right? To whomever. So, do we have a choice? Look at government elections. Do we have a choice? Some of these people that are running for office, local, presidential, federal, all those things, they give us an option. But is that what we would choose? If you had a choice, would you choose between Biden and Trump? Between A and B, X, Y, Z? We have decisions to make on what we are offered, but it's not the same as having a choice. Okay? And I'm going to show you why in just a second. So, mindset. Okay? The word mindset is a habitual. Habitual means continuous, ongoing, steadfast. Habitual characteristic mental attitude that determines how we will interpret and respond to situations. I'm going to read that again. Mindset, the definition of mindset, one definition is a habitual characteristic mental attitude that determines how you will interpret and respond to situations. So, again, is the status of poverty versus wealth a choice in mindset? Even, and I'm sorry if you all hear the background noise, I'm sitting outdoors, you might hear cars driving past or whatnot. But with the mindset, even if you grew up, quote unquote, poor, how many people have said as an adult, they look back and they're like, I didn't even know we were poor. Yeah, it's a difference because you weren't impoverished. Paycheck to paycheck may be poor. It's not necessarily impoverished, right? So with the mindset, how do we think? All because you grew up lacking, struggling. Do you have the mindset where you say that you want to continue to struggle, right? All because you grew up poor or impoverished, all because you grew up lacking, doesn't mean that that has to define you. So it's quite interesting to me. I always see a lot of people today that are struggling, and it seems like they have a problem with it, but I'm kind of not certain about that. Because if you had a problem with being impoverished and poor and broken, what's going on with that dismay that doesn't prompt you to make better decisions for your life and change that, change your mindset? And it does have to be habitual. You have the wealthy, the 1% of the world, and they survive because of their mindset. They don't let anything stop them. They are focused, they're ambitious, they're consistent, and they're determined. What's going on, Queen Kathy B? Queen Kathy B is in the house on stereo. I know you're working, Queen. Let me know if you want to jump up here and have this conversation. And I'll bring you up. What do we want? And why are we okay with not having? It's okay to, everyone that has a job, you should like your job, your career. You should enjoy what you do. But what if you can turn it around, and whatever you do, you can flip that where you can be a business owner, an entrepreneur, doing whatever you're doing and creating jobs, passive income. It's interesting because a lot of people are afraid to step out on entrepreneurship, but you're not afraid that you might lose your job on any given day. I try to help people because there's so much wealth out here. And when we leave it on the table, the 1% is taking it. And it's very interesting. I've said this before, I know there are a lot of people that are scamming out there, and it sucks. You don't know who to trust. It sucks. But definitely do your own research, and see what works for you. If you like driving trucks, if you like mowing lawns, if you like traveling, if you like driving, if you like painting, if you like writing, I promise you, I can help you find your own niche, doing your own thing. And there's nothing wrong with working for someone, because it does take a lot of work and ambition and consistency to be your own business owner. To be an entrepreneur, it takes a lot. So, yeah, again, what do you all think? Is poverty and wealth a choice, or just a happenstance? A lot of people look at people around them. If you grew up in a poor area, poor neighborhood, single families, whatever your situation was, a lot of times people grow up and they have the same types of connections and friends and relationships, people that are alike in their situations, right? And so if you grew up poor and lacking and, in the have not kind of area, and those are the people you hang out with, what would you think your outcome would be? You can't get rich hanging out with have nots. And I say that when I mean in the term of a choice. I think there's a lot of judgment when you hear people talk about people that leave the hood or whatever and they do better. They don't want to come back to the hood. You don't want to come back to that. If you can't, especially if you can't change the circumstance, what's the point of coming back to it? It's actually really devastating, and people will pull you down if you're not careful. And I think that's what's interesting. I think people are afraid to step on their own because they're afraid of what people will think, disappointing other people, disappointing themselves. For me, the only way I can disappoint myself is not trying, is giving up. If I'm trying and I don't make that mark, then at least I tried, So I do want to encourage us all to change our mindsets, how we think. Again, I have so many avenues for people to make money, and it's just not like it's not complicated. I would share this with people without anything in return other than you guaranteeing that you're going to try. I hate hearing people say, well, and you told me this and I should have listened and I didn't. And I messed even worse. Now what do I do? That is so annoying to me. It's so annoying. It costs so much time and energy for people that don't want to listen. But those are the very people that don't have wealth in any aspect, not spiritually, not mentally, physically, financially, nothing. And that's why I started doing the life coaching thing, because as a nurse, I help people all the time, but I got tired of helping people and it cost me my energy and my essence only for you to continue to do ignorant things, right? And being broke is one of those things. It just doesn't make any sense when there's so many avenues and opportunities for people to make money anymore. I was talking with someone a couple of days ago about the rubber band. I was talking to a client of mine, a senior client, and we were talking about rubber bands. That is like the most simple thing. You can get 2,000 rubber bands in a bag at the dollar store for $1.25 now. Someone made a fortune off of rubber bands. So anything you do, my point is, anything that you do, you want to do, you should not limit yourself to your capabilities, to any kind of success, any kind of blessing, any kind of growth. You should not limit yourself to that. That's why we're not wealthy. Remember that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Nobody wants to be a millionaire, because if we did, we'd work harder for it. Most millionaires are millionaires because they put in the time and the effort and the energy, right? You have some that were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but a lot of people have made their way, whatever that is. You save, you invest, grow your money, buy up companies, sell companies, whatever they do. But nonetheless, they're millionaires and they were consistent. If everyone realized that, we'd have more millionaires. we'd have a whole lot less people in poverty, right? So think about that. I have one more term, and the word is possibilities. Possibilities, a thing that may happen or be the case, the state or fact of being possible, the likelihood, a thing that may be chosen or done out of several possible alternatives. Again, when you look with your eyes and not your vision, all you see is the decisions people offer you. You fail to realize in your own vision the endless possibilities that you have. Do you know how many people have broken world records? Do you know how they do that? By persevering and being consistent and being determined. Nothing can ever be done until it's done. Right? Look at technology, look at all kinds of things. Look at the world right now. People have created possibilities, and some of these possibilities don't even benefit the greater good. So, what possibilities can you create that not only benefit you, but your loved ones, your community, even the world? I'm just one person. All it's ever taken is one person to shift the dynamics for themselves, for their family, and then for the world. Just takes one. So be that one. That is my encouragement to you all today. Be that one. Make a difference. And I'm definitely here to help and support. So please like and share and support. I'm definitely here for support. Right. So again, if someone needs advice or a direction when it comes to growing your wealth, independence, entrepreneurship, business owning, all that good jazz, I'm certainly here for that. You can always email me at clearestconscience@gmail.com. Again, it's clearestconscience@gmail.com. You can always text or call me, and I will tell you this number is a Google number. I do screen my calls because there's weird people out there. So you can always text me at 317-661-1264. That's why I told you I get a pen and paper out. So again, it's 317-661-1264. Please feel free to text over a call because I will screen my calls. Text in your name. Let me know what you need. And I can certainly help if I can. Before I go, again, I have to cook for my king. He'll be home soon from work. I do want to encourage everyone to go over to my Clearest Conscience page on Facebook. At the top on the pin post is Acorns. Please sign up for Acorns if you are looking to invest money and grow your money. Okay, just for the record, when you put your money into a savings account in the bank, you only grow about 3% interest rate on that. Acorns allows you to grow anywhere from 9 to 12% interest rate, and they show you how your money will grow over time. So it is a good opportunity. It is a source of my passive income, so it will certainly help me. And when you sign up, you can do the same thing and forward that to other people and get passive income with that. I am so excited to be able to share with everyone about passive income. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, email me at clearestconscience@gmail.com or give me a ring, give me a text, whatever, so I can help you all. right? I don't want to see anybody struggling. I don't want anybody, I want everybody to be good. So definitely please support. So go over to, again, my Clearest Conscience page on Facebook. At the top, there is a link for Acorns. So you can definitely get signed up for that. Hang on just a second. I'm sorry. I've got an echo. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have today. I wanted to share that with you all and just encourage you to change your mindset on your wealth. And again, wealth is not just finances, it's everything. If you're not financially set, it can affect your mental, and then your spiritual, and then your physical well-being, right? A lot of times our physical ailments are from inward situations, inward turmoil, right? Headaches, hair loss, wrinkles, all that stuff. So even diseases, I believe stress can cause cancer. It changes the cells in your body. That's what cancer is cells in your body that are attacked by what cells? It's unexplainable. A lot of times we allow stress to manipulate and restructure our DNA, right? So just be mindful of that. I'm here to support. So stay tuned. Please like and share. And I think that's all I have. I have to go cook. So thank you all for listening. Please share on your platforms. Share an email, in a text, to somebody that might need this. Please feel free to go over to my Facebook page and sign up for Acorns. Yep. So anyone that does so, I've been so busy, you all. Anybody that does so, I'm going to try to give out rewards for that. Let me see. I'm going to play this message from Terry really quickly. Welcome, Terry, by the way.
Do you know, Mandy, I totally agree with you. Actually bring this up quite a lot. I also believe that once you're diagnosed that you've got cancer, your health deteriorates extremely quick, and that's also linked to the psychology part of it as well. So yeah, stress can cause it, and also it can speed up the process of death in my eyes.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. Thank you for that comment. That's so true. Let me know if you'd like to come up and have a conversation. You too, Queen Kathy. I know you're working. That is so true. I've seen so many stories, and I've shared this before. There was a story of a man. It was two men. I don't know how it happened, but life happens how it happens. And these two men went to the doctor, right? And let's say John and Bob. So John was diagnosed with cancer, and Bob was cleared of cancer. In actuality, they mixed up the results, and John didn't have cancer, but Bob did. Did I say that right? Yeah. So my point is, person A had cancer, and they were told they didn't. Person B were told they did have cancer, but they didn't. The person that was told that they had cancer wound up dying a few years later. The person that was told that didn't have cancer, that actually did have cancer, wound up living a healthy life. It's all in how we think. It's our mindset. And so thank you for sharing that. That is so important. I've even heard stories about people with multiple personalities, right? One person, so say I'm me, okay, I'm Angelina, and I've got Angelina, Angie, and Sarah inside. Well, Angelina is a 41-year-old woman with diabetes and high blood pressure. Sarah is a 14-year-old girl completely healthy, all that stuff. So when they were taking these people to the doctors, it depended on the personality that showed up, if that makes any sense. So if Sarah showed up with a clean bill of health. If Angelina showed up with high blood pressure and diabetes. And the test showed the difference in that. Does that make sense? I think I said that right. I'm gonna play this next message from Terry.
See, yeah, placebo effect, you know, and also the medication, which is guinea pigs, chemo. You know, people have, you know, sorry, I'm doing two things at once. Yeah, you've got people that receive treatment and people that don't know they've got cancer and they're not receiving treatment. You know, again, deterioration, I think it grows it, you know, you're pumping radiation into a tumour. The tumour is either going to grow, it grows crap, you know, so, yeah, guinea pigs, medication, placebo effect, the mind is a very, very powerful instrument, you know, it's only us that can, I think, you know, no man-made. Nothing is to do with the mind. If you're strong-minded.
I certainly agree with that. Thank you again for your feedback. I certainly agree with that. It's all in how we perceive things. So yeah, it definitely makes a big difference. And just to say with not to get upset with the cancer situation, you know, those drugs are poisonous. It's literally rat poison. You know, so think about that. What is the survival rate for chemo and radiation? You know, think about those things. So back to the conversation in the same sense, when we're talking about the mindset with poverty and wealth, why is it that we cannot see ourselves better off than we are? What is happening in our mindset to where we think it's okay to keep going to work and paying taxes and struggling? Like, water should be free. As a nurse, I see people on oxygen. Oxygen should be free. Healthcare should be free. You know, so what's happening in our mindsets where we're so afraid to not go to work for someone else, to not struggle, to where we keep doing it? It's like a cancer, the way we think with our wealth. And again, that goes with everything, not just finances, everything. Why are we so depressed? What's going on with the suicide rate now, especially in the youth? How do we change the mindset? Why don't we know that we can make our own choices and things don't have to be the way they are? Why don't we know that? Why is gas $4? It's what, almost $4 a gallon here in Indiana. Why? Is anybody asking how much a barrel of gas costs right now? No. Why do we have student loan debt? And we keep, in the US, we keep shelling out money that we don't have. Nobody says anything about that? No. You can't afford to live. Can't afford to die. How do we change the collective mindset with that? I've had situations where people get fed up and they're like, I'm not going to work. We should all call off. Well, if you call off, I'll call off. But if you don't call off, I'm not going to call off. Those aren't choices. That is a tactic of intimidation. You know, I'm going to play this next message. I have a school bus going by, sorry.
Do you know what that cancer is called, my lady? It's called government and fat cats. They've mass brainwashed and programmed Joe Public into thinking that this is the correct way to live life, and if you don't, then you're an outcast, or things, you know. It's all to do with the higher power, so to speak, under the sun. And it's not okay to have to bow down to people that don't know how to live a normal life, you know. These fat cats, these government people that are taking the taxes and issuing taxes, they wouldn't know what a loaf of bread costs these days, you know.
That is so true. That is so true. And I know Queen Kathy's on here, and we're part of the United Empires of Akibalon, and she speaks highly on um, farming, growing your own food, all that stuff, land ownership. And I think about that all the time. Like these people, these higher ups, they don't have any Walmarts, or their stuff is protected. You know, like it's not the same as where we shop, how we live. It's certainly not the same. You're certainly right. So again, I'm wondering, like, why don't we see that, but there's no call to action for it, you know? And so for me, I try to take it little by little. Again, I try to empower people, encourage people, educate people, in any way I can, because the knowledge is needed. I think we've all been in places where we didn't know something, and we learn and we evolve. And those things that we're sharing. So thank you, Terry, for sharing all those things. You know, it's worth having the conversation about. A lot of people pretend they know something because they don't want to say that they don't know, you know, and it costs us. So I'm sorry, I've got a call coming in. So sorry for the noise. I can't stop it. Okay, sorry. So yeah, we have to really think about where we're at, what we want, and what we don't want. And it's okay to say that. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do have to make a change for the greater good. And we ought to see that there is an issue going on. So that is all I have. Terry, I'm gonna start following you. Thank you for your input. I love it. I love the knowledge. Um, I do. So thank you for sharing. You all, again, please like and share. Go to my Clear as Conscious Facebook page and subscribe there. And until next time, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. I got to cook for my husband. So peace.